Good morning. Mr. Clerk, will you ring the bell, please? We got your vote. Members will please take your seats. Members, please take your seats. We're going to have the morning roll call. All members present. All members present. We'll come into the chamber and take your seats. All members present will please vote green to signify their presence in the chamber, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine. Doorkeepers, will you please close the doors and keep them closed? As is our custom, we will begin our day with scripture reading and prayer by the chaplain, after which we will pledge allegiance to the flag of our country. Our chaplain this morning will be introduced by the lady from the 52nd House District, Representative Shay Roberts. Representative Roberts.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, it is my honor and pleasure to introduce to you Reverend Reginald Williams. He has been preaching since 1992, was ordained in 1994. He is an alumnus of Bryant Theological Seminary. In May 2017, he received a Bachelor of Arts degree in Pastoral Theology from Carver College and a Certificate of Theology from the Baptist International Bible Institute. He's also currently working on his master's. While Reverend Williams understands that academia doesn't make a preacher, he does believe it provides him tools that help him in his service to his congregation. In October 2002, Reverend Williams became the 13th pastor at Little Zion Baptist Church, which is located in Brookhaven's Linwood Park neighborhood, considered to be the oldest historically black neighborhood in DeKalb County. He has been a strong leader for more than 20 years. Reverend Williams has established numerous new programs for its members, as well as establishing outreach programs in the community, such as ministering to seniors and prisoners. He's revitalized the youth program and has also added a deacon ministry. He is beloved by his congregation, and we are also celebrating a very important anniversary with them this year. Little Zion Baptist Church is 100 years old. We have some members of the congregation up in the gallery. We have his wife, Cynthia, his daughter, Jessica, and retired General Richard Dix, as well as other special guests. Could you all please stand so we can recognize you and celebrate your anniversary with you? Welcome to the People's House. In recognition of this milestone, it seemed only fitting to invite Reverend Williams to be our pastor of the day. And with that, Reverend Williams.
Thank you.
Speaker of the House, John Burns, Representative Shay Roberts, and all that make up this great Georgia House of Representatives. It is indeed an honor and a privilege to stand before you. I bring you greetings from the Little Zion Missionary Baptist Church in Brookhaven, Georgia. I am humbled and grateful for this opportunity. But then again, aren't we all humbled and grateful for the great opportunity we collectively possess at this present time? We have the blessed opportunity to serve and make great impact in this great state of Georgia and the greatest country in the world. We have a chance to change history, to make history. The question naturally forms then in our mind, how do we make the best of this opportunity we've been entrusted with? At first glance, one would look for a high moral ethical view. One would say the principle of the Golden Rule. The Golden Rule has been posted in countless establishments for many centuries, even dating back to ancient times. In 1913, it was posted at the Acme Sucker Rod Factory in Toledo, Ohio, where there was a sign posted at the employee entrance that says, "Therefore, whatsoever ye would do that men should do unto you, do ye even so unto them." The principle is treat others as one wants to be treated. This concept can be found in nearly all facets of life, in almost every ethical tradition. In ancient Egypt, it is stated, "Now this is the command, do to the doer to make him do." In ancient India, one writer wrote, "One should never do something to others that would regard as an injury to one's own self." Ancient Greece writer put it this way, "What you do not want to happen to you, do not do it to yourself either." The Golden Rule stands elevated in the highest point of moral ethics. However, it centers on loving others based on the individual's perception of love. Today, I ask the question, I want you to consider, there is a better way. We need something higher than moral ethics and personal values for the great opportunity we have been entrusted with today. For those who we serve, who we represent and labor, deserve better. But what can be better than the Golden Rule? Recently in my ethics class of love, my professor asked us to define love. And I'll spare you the mundane details and the statements that was given by many of my peers. But one thing was certain, love trumps all. Love looks beyond faults and supplies the need. True love provides what's needed, even if it is not liked. Any of us remember parents providing penicillin to us, although it was not liked, or providing vegetables to help us develop good, healthy bodies, although the taste was undesired. It was all done for the good and in love. Well, to further my case, Jesus shared on the subject of love. He declared in Mark 12:30 and 31, "Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind, and with all thy strength. This is the first commandment." After which he shared the Golden Rule. And the second is like this, namely this, "Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. There is none other commandments greater than these." The first commandment centers and gives purpose, and it should not be divorced from the second. Let us strive to love God with our whole being. In doing so, we will ensure that we will serve in love, and that love will be blind from our own prejudices. It will be motivated by pure love and boldness to stand no matter the challenge. I'm excited, full of zeal and vigor, because we have been chosen, each of us have been chosen to serve this present time, given opportunity to leave our marker in history. Others have come and performed to the best of their ability. Now it's our time. It's our opportunity to do great things. Georgia House of Representatives, let's band together and march our state, our country forward into a brighter future. I suggest we leave an irrefutable mark, and we can do this by the principal thing: love. Let us pray. Eternal God, our Father, creator of all things, we are grateful for your love and for your faithfulness. Today is a new day. You have blessed us with a myriad of opportunities to have great impact today. For this, I say thank you. Thank you for keeping all of us. Thank you for your many graces, for all of your goodness and your kindness, for choosing us to assemble here today. And we thank you for this great body. We pray, Lord God, that you will bless them, those who you are ordained to stand and represent this country, this state. We pray, Lord God, for wisdom. We pray, Lord God, for understanding. We pray, most importantly, for compassion. Lord God, I pray that this great house will do things pleasing in your sight, that we may represent you, and that this country will continue to be a beacon of light all around the world. Forgive us of any of our sins, Lord God, that we may have a right relationship with you. It is in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. We now have the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excellent job, Pastor.
Thank you.
Doorkeepers will unlock the doors. Pastor Williams, thank you for that message, and congratulations to you and your congregations on your first 100 years. Congratulations. Members, you may greet Pastor Williams in the South Anteroom and have a photo and be a part of that first 100 years celebration, so feel free to do that. Members, we can have your attention. Chairman Tarvin is recognized, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits. Chairman Tarvin, give Chairman Tarvin your undivided attention, please, members.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Information and Audits has read the journal the previous legislative day and found it to be correct. And just a little something for us to think about. The expert in anything was once a beginner.
Well, Chairman Tarvin, that's a lot to think about right there. Now, I'm just telling you, spot on as usual. Thank you, Chairman Tarvin. Chairman Tarvin, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits, reports that the journal of the previous legislative day has been read and found to be correct. Is there an objection to dispense with the reading of the journal? The chair hears none. The reading of the journal is dispensed with. Is there any objection to the confirmation of the journal? Chair hears none, and the journal is confirmed. Mr. Clerk, will you read the resolution establishing the order of business for the day?
Representative Administration of the 104th moves following be established as the order of business during the first part of the period. Unanimous consents. Introduction of bills and resolutions. First reading and reference of House bills and resolutions. Second reading of bills and resolutions. Reports of standing committees. Third reading and passage of uncontested local bills and resolutions. Morning orders.
Is there any objection to the adoption of the resolution establishing the order of business for the day? Chair hears none, and the resolution is adopted. First reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
House Bill 793 by Representative Barton of the 5th, Hatchett of the 155th, Hutchinson of the 106th, Cooper the 45th, Dempsey the 13th. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 10A of Title 43 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to licensing provisions regarding professional counselors.
Regulated industries.
House Bill 794 by Representative Mitchell of the 88th, Oliver of the 82nd, Trent of the 85th, Hendrick of the 95th, Crawford of the 84th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 3 of Title 12 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to parks, historic areas, memorials, and recreation.
Governmental affairs.
House Bill 795 by Representative Davis, the 87th, Schofield, the 63rd, Scott of the 76th, Kendrick of the 95th, Roberts of the 52nd. A bill be titled Act to amend Code Section 1612-140 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to criminal abortion.
Public and community health.
House Bill 796 by Representative Davis, the 87th, Scott of the 76th, Schofield of the 63rd. A bill be titled Act to amend Code Section 1612-141 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to restrictions on the performance of abortions.
Public and community health.
House Bill 797 by Representative Tran of the 80th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 2A of Title 31 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to Department of Public Health.
Your regulated industries.
House Bill 798 by Representative Carpenter of the 4th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 1 of Title 10 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to selling and other trade practices.
Regulated industries.
House Bill 799 by Representative Reeves of the 99th, Gunner of the 8th, Saints of the 180th, Silcox of the 53rd, Kelly of the 16th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 472321 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to the authority of the Board for the Georgia Judicial Retirement System.
Retirement.
House Bill 801 by Representative Wilkerson of the 38th and Smith of the 41st. Bill be titled an act to amend an act incorporating the city of Mableton.
Intragovernmental coordination.
House Bill 803 by Representative Schofield of the 63rd, Scott of the 76th, Davis of the 87th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 15 of Title 25 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to other safety inspections and regulations.
Natural resources and environment.
House Bill 804 by Representative Seaball of the 34th, Crow of the 118th, Corbett of the 174th, McDonald of the 26th, Gaines of the 120th. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 7 of Chapter 2 of Title 40 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to motor vehicle license fees and classes.
Motor vehicles.
House Bill 805 by Representative Mathis of the 149th. Bill be titled an act to amend an act to provide a $15,000 homestead exemption from certain ad valorem taxes.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 806 by Representative Mathis, 149th. Bill be titled an act to amend an act restating and reacting a certain homestead exemption from ad valorem taxes.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Resolution 545 by Representative Wade of the 9th, Jaspers of the 11th, Hawkins of the 27th. A resolution honoring the life and memory of Mrs. Opal Gibson Crawford Barron and dedicating an intersection in her memory.
Transportation. Mr.
House.
Clerk, suspend just for a minute. I'm sure the Senate can hear every word y'all are saying. Y'all talking so loud. So let's take it down just a little bit. Give the clerk your attention. Some members want to know where their bills are going. So let's give the clerk your attention. Continue, Mr. Clerk.
House Resolution 546 by Representative Mathis of the 149th, Gunner of the 8th, Smith of the 18th. Lopton of the 17th, Fleming of the 125th, and others. A resolution supporting the work of law enforcement agencies in the state of Georgia.
Public Safety and Homeland Security.
House Resolution 547 by Representative Mathiak of the 74th, Gunner of the 8th, Hatchett of the 155th. A resolution creating the House Study Committee on Rural Medical Personnel Recruitment.
Special rules.
House Resolution 563 by Representative Anderson of the 10th and Powell of the 33rd. A resolution creating a House Study Committee on licensing of the tree care industry.
Regulated industries.
House Resolution 564 by Representative Dubnik of the 29th, Jones of the 47th, Irwin of the 32nd, Jones of the 25th, Jaspers of the 11th, and others. A resolution proposing amendment to the Constitution so as to provide for the election of members of the State Board of Education.
Education.
House Resolution 565 by Representative Corbett of the 174th, New of the 64th, Ridley of the 6th. A resolution creating a House Study Committee on Motor Vehicle Dealer License Plates and Temporary Operating Permits.
Motor vehicles.
House Resolution 566 by Representative Hilton of the 48th, Cooper of the 45th, Stevens of the 164th, Seaball of the 34th, Hatchett of the 155th. A resolution creating a House Study Committee on Georgia's COVID-19 response and future pandemic preparedness.
Public and community health.
House Resolution 567 by Representative Thomas of the 21st, Jones of the 25th, Irwin of the 32nd, Werkheiser of the 157th, Martin of the 49th, and others. A resolution creating the House Study Committee on Workforce Innovation and Development.
Special rules.
That completes first readers.
Second reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
House Bill 743 by Representative Powell of the 33rd. A bill to amend an act to reconstitute the Board of Education of Hart County. House Bill 744 by Representative Powell of the 33rd. A bill to amend an act to create the Board of Commissioners of Hart County. House Bill 745 by Representative Kelly of the 16th, Hatchett of the 155th, Perkle of the 169th, McCollum of the 30th. A bill relating to regulation and construction of hospitals and other health care facilities. House Bill 746 by Representative Carson of the 46th. A bill relating to the Employees Retirement System of Georgia. House Bill 747 by Representative McLean of the 109th, Bazemore of the 69th, Douglas of the 78th, Wilkerson of the 38th. A bill relating to special license plates promoting or supporting certain worthy agencies, funds, or nonprofit corporations. House Bill 748 by Representative Reeves of the 99th, Abstration of the 104th, Clark of the 108th, McLean of the 109th, Mogul of the 105th, and others. A bill to provide an additional homestead exemption from Gwinnett County School District ad valorem taxes. House Bill 749 by Representative Smith of the 18th, the bill to authorize the assessment and collection of a technology fee by the Magistrate Court of Haralson County. House Bill 750 by Representative Wiedauer of the 121st, a bill to create the City of Watkinsville Public Facilities Authority. House Bill 751 by Representative Carpenter of the 4th, Tarvin of the 2nd, Ridley of the 6th, a bill to provide a new homestead exemption for City of Cohutta ad valorem taxes. House Bill 752 by Representative Wiedauer of the 121st and Gaines of the 120th, a bill to amend an act to provide a new homestead exemption from Maconie County ad valorem taxes. House Bill 753 by Representative Carpenter of the 4th, Tarvin of the 2nd, Ridley of the 6th, a bill to amend an act providing a homestead exemption from Whitfield County School District ad valorem taxes. House Bill 754 by Representative Carpenter of the 4th, Tarvin of the 2nd, Ridley of the 6th, a bill to provide a homestead exemption from Whitfield County ad valorem taxes. House Bill 755 by Representative Carpenter of the 4th, Tarvin of the 2nd, Ridley of the 6th, a bill to provide a new homestead exemption from City of Tunnel Hill ad valorem taxes. House Bill 756 by Representative Carpenter of the 4th, Tarvin of the 2nd, Ridley of the 6th, a bill to amend an act to provide a homestead exemption from City of Dalton ad valorem taxes. House Bill 757 by Representative Deloach of the 167th, a bill to amend an act to create a new charter for the City of Ludowici. House Bill 758 by Representative Carpenter of the 4th, Tarvin of the 2nd, Ridley of the 6th, a bill to amend an act to provide a new homestead exemption from the City of Dalton ad valorem taxes. House Bill 759 by Representative Bonner of the 73rd, Mathiak of the 74th, a bill to amend an act to provide a new city charter for Peachtree City. House Bill 760 by Representative Bonner of the 73rd, Mathiak of the 74th, a bill to amend an act to repeal and replace the charter of the Town of Tyrone. House Bill 761 by Representative Carpenter of the 4th, Tarvin of the 2nd, Ridley of the 6th, a bill to provide a new homestead exemption from City of Tunnel Hill ad valorem taxes. House Bill 762 by Representative Carpenter of the 4th, Tarvin of the 2nd, Ridley of the 6th, a bill to amend an act to provide a homestead exemption from City of Dalton Independent School District ad valorem taxes. House Bill 763 by Representative Wiedauer of the 121st and Gaines of the 120th, a bill to provide a homestead exemption from Oconee County ad valorem taxes. House Bill 764 by Representative Wiedauer of the 121st and Gaines of the 120th, the bill to provide a homestead exemption from Oconee County ad valorem taxes. House Bill 765 by Representative Wiedauer of the 121st and Gaines of the 120th, a bill to amend an act to provide a homestead exemption from Oconee County ad valorem taxes. House Bill 766 by Representative Wiedauer of the 121st, Gaines of the 120th, a bill to provide a homestead exemption from Oconee County School District ad valorem taxes. House Bill 767 by Representative Wiedauer of the 121st and Gaines of the 120th, a bill to provide a homestead exemption from Oconee County School District ad valorem taxes. House Bill 768 by Representative Wiedauer of the 121st, Gaines of the 120th, a bill to amend an act to provide a homestead exemption from Oconee County ad valorem taxes. House Bill 769 by Representative Wiedauer of the 121st and Gaines of the 120th, a bill to provide a homestead exemption from Oconee County ad valorem taxes. House Bill 770 by Representative Wiedauer of the 121st and Gaines of the 120th, a bill to provide a homestead exemption from Oconee County School District ad valorem taxes. House Bill 771 by Representative Carpenter of the 4th, Tarvin of the 2nd, Ridley of the 6th, a bill to provide a new homestead exemption from City of Cahata ad valorem taxes. House Bill 772 by Representative Meeks of the 178th, a bill to authorize the assessment and collection of a technology fee by the State Court of Bacon County. House Bill 773 by Representative Barton of the 5th, Ridley of the 6th, Jaspers of the 11th, a bill to provide a new charter for the town of Ranger in the county of Gordon. House Bill 774 by Representative Perkle of the 169th, a bill to amend an act creating the Board of Commissioners of Irwin County. House Bill 775 by Representative Williamson of the 112th, Fleming of the 114th, a bill to amend an act to continue the charter of the Academy of Social Circle and create the School District of Social Circle. House Bill 776 by Representative Barrett of the 24th, McDonald of the 26th, Cox of the 28th, Jones of the 25th, Jaspers of the 11th, and others, a bill to amend an act creating the Forsyth County Board of Registrations and Elections. House Bill 777 by Representative McLean of the 109th, Reeves of the 99th, Clark of the 108th, Miggle of the 105th, Bennett of the 94th, and others, a bill to amend an act creating the Board of Commissioners of Gwinnett County. House Bill 778 by Representative Townsend of the 179th, Sains of the 180th, Deloach of the 167th, a bill to amend an act creating the State Court of Glenn County. House Bill 779 by Representative Montahan of the 17th, Gullett of the 19th, Kelly of the 16th, Smith of the 18th, a bill to amend an act to provide the election of members of the Paulding County Board of Education. House Bill 780 by Representative LaHood of the 175th, a bill to create the Brooks County Public Facilities Authority. House Bill 781 by Representative Holly of the 116th, Crow of the 118th, Douglas of the 78th, Mathiak of the 74th, Lewis Ward of the 115th, and others, a bill to create and establish the Henry County Building and Facilities Authority. House Bill 782 by Representative Anderson of the 10th, a bill to amend an act to reincorporate the city of Dillard in the county of Rabun. House Bill 783 by Representative Jenkins of the 136th, a bill to create a new charter for the town of Moreland. House Bill 784 by Representative Holly of the 116th, Crow of the 118th, Douglas of the 78th, Mathiak of the 74th, Lewis Ward of the 115th, and others, a bill to create the Henry County Airport Authority. House Bill 785 by Representative Rhodes of the 124th, a bill to provide for creation of one or more community improvement districts in Greene County. House Bill 786 by Representative Carpenter of the 4th, Tarvin of the 2nd, Ridley of the 6th, a bill to amend an act to provide a homestead exemption from City of Dalton ad valorem taxes. House Bill 787 by Representative Carpenter of the 4th, Tarvin of the 2nd, Ridley of the 6th, a bill to amend an act providing a homestead exemption from Whitfield County School District ad valorem taxes. House Bill 788 by Representative Meeks of the 178th, a bill to amend an act to provide a new charter for the City of Blackshear. House Bill 789 by Representative Carpenter of the 4th, Tarvin of the 2nd, Ridley of the 6th, a bill to provide a homestead exemption for Whitfield County ad valorem taxes. House Bill 790 by Representative Reeves of the 99th, Kennard of the 101st, Clark of the 100th, Hong of the 103rd, Muggle of the 105th, a bill to amend an act to creating the new charters for the City of Suwanee. House Bill 791 by Representative Wiedauer of the 121st, Gaines of the 120th, a bill to amend an act to provide a homestead exemption from Oconee County School District ad valorem taxes. House Bill 792 by Representative Cannon of the 58th, Holland of the 54th, Bruce of the 61st, Schofield of the 63rd, Jones of the 60th, and others, a bill to amend an act to continue the existence of the Atlanta Independent School System. House Bill 800 by Representative Maynard of the 56th, Olalier of the 59th, Thomas of the 65th, Evans of the 57th, Jones of the 60th, and others, a bill to amend an act creating Fulton Technology and Energy Enhancement Authority. House Bill 802 by Representative Chastain of the 7th, a bill to provide a new charter for the town of Morganton. House Resolution 521 by Representative Vidania of the 110th, Mitchell of the 88th, Glaze of the 67th, Miller of the 62nd, Cummings of the 39th, and others. A resolution urging President Joe Biden. House Resolution 522 by Representative Gaines of the 120th, Wiedauer of the 121st, Fry of the 122nd, Rhodes of the 124th, Silcox of the 53rd, and others. Resolution honoring Mr. Vincent Joseph Dooley, dedicating an intersection in his memory. House Resolution 523 by Representative Rhodes of the 124th, Cannon of the 172nd. Resolution honoring the life of PFC John W. Adams, dedicating a road in his memory. House Resolution 524 by Representative Cannon of the 58th, McLean of the 109th, Schofield of the 63rd, and Scott of the 76th. Resolution honoring the life of Mrs. Jamita Orange and dedicating an intersection in her memory. House Resolution 525 by Representative Cannon of the 58th, Anulowitz of the 42nd, Clark of the 108th. A resolution honoring Mr. Marshall Ransford and dedicating an intersection in his memory. Senate Bill 289 by Senator Jones of the 10th, Strickland of the 17th, Williams of the 25th. A bill to provide a homestead exemption from City of Hampton ad valorem taxes. Senate Bill 290 by Senator Jones of the 10th, Strickland of the 17th, Williams of the 25th. A bill to provide a homestead exemption from City of Hampton ad valorem taxes. Senate Bill 297 by Senator Hodges of the 3rd. A bill to authorize the McIntosh County to exercise all redevelopment and other powers under the Redevelopment Powers Law. Senate Bill 298 by Senator Anderson of the 43rd. A bill to amend an act creating the Board of Commissioners of Rockdale County. Senate Bill 299 by Senator Mallow of the 2nd. A bill to authorize the governing authority of the City of Port Wentworth to levy an excise tax. Senate Bill 301 by Senator Walker III of the 20th. A bill to amend an act providing the election of members of the Board of Education of Dodge County. Senate Bill 302 by Senator Sims of the 12th. A bill to amend an act providing a homestead exemption from Early County School District ad valorem taxes. Through second readers.
Reports of standing committees the clerk will read.
Representative Robert Dickey, the 145th District Chairman of the Committee on Agriculture and Consumer Affairs, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Agriculture and Consumer Affairs has had under its consideration following bill of the Senate. It's instructed me to report the same back to the House. The following recommendations: Senate Bill 177, due pass by committee substitute, respectfully submitted. Representative Robert Dickey, the 145th District Chairman. Representative Beth Camp of the 135th District, Chairman on Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination Local, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination Locals had under its consideration the following bills of the House. It instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendations: House Bill 716, due pass. House Bill 722, due pass. House Bill 727, due pass. House Bill 731, due pass. House Bill 732, due pass. House Bill 733, due pass. House Bill 735, due pass. House Bill 739, due pass. House Bill 740, due pass. House Bill 742, due pass. Respectfully submitted, Representative Beth Camp of the 135th District, Chairman. That completes the reading of the reports of standing committees.
Third reading and passage of uncontested local bills. If there is no objection, we will vote on the local calendar as a whole with a recorded vote. Hearing none, it is so ordered. The clerk will read the local calendar.
House Bill 716 by Representative Lumpson of the 12th, City of Cave Spring. House Bill 722 by Representative Campbell of the 35th, City of Ackworth. House Bill 727 by Representative Deloach of the 167th, City of Darien. House Bill 731 by Representative Drunner of the 85th, DeKalb County. House Bill 732 by Representative Green of the 154th, Quitman County. House Bill 733 by Representative Gladney of the 130th, Richmond County. House Bill 735 by Representative Gunner of the 8th, City of Hiawassee. House Bill 739 by Representative Seaball of the 34th, Cobb County. House Bill 740 by Representative Williams of the 168th, City of Hinesville. House Bill 742 by Representative Green of the 154th, Clay County.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. I'm sure you members have read the local calendar because you couldn't hear it. Watch your ear. House will come to order. Members, take your seats. We're getting ready to vote. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered on the local calendar? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bills? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall these bills now pass? All those in favor of the passage of the bills on the local calendar will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of the bills on the local calendar, the yeas are 164, the nays are 0. These bills, having received the requisite constitutional majority, are therefore passed. Well, we have a dilemma. We have about 20 requests for morning orders, and I'm going to give you 10 minutes. Now, there are members here who have folks who've traveled a long way to be in this gallery. So I'm going to start at the top. If you want to be respectful to your neighbor, here's a good day to start. So I'm not going to hold you to 1 minute. If the first one wants to take 10 minutes, we're done. The rest of you can speak to that member. I think they call that personal responsibility and caring about your neighbor. Morning orders. Representative Hilton is recognized for a morning order. Representative Cooper, you're on deck.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I got a great 10-minute speech planned here. Ready? Let's settle in. 30 seconds. I'm here today to recognize it is World Down Syndrome Day today. We are recognizing World Down Syndrome Day. Yes, we have parents, advocates, moms, folks with Down syndrome. You'd stand up so we can recognize you. Great Jay in Georgia. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you and God bless. Have a great day.
Thank you for being here. World Down Syndrome Day. What a great day. Thank y'all. We appreciate y'all and love y'all. Representative Cooper, let's see. Your whole ones, let's see. We have Representative Williamson, Fleming, and Martinez on deck. Representative Cooper. Chair Lady Cooper.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Would members of the here for the Georgia Health Policy Center at the Andrew Young School of Policy stand up, please, and let us recognize you? They must not be here yet. This is an organization that has been founded by the Woodruff Center for several years now that set a course for us to learn to look at issues not from the bill we are passing, but a more global view. And they have done a great job, and many of us have attended those classes and gotten a certificate, and I want to thank them and appreciate all they've done for us. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Great day. Chairman Williamson, Representative Fleming and Martinez, we're You're recognized for a morning order. Representative Bandisha Thomas is on deck.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Representative Williamson and Martinez and I are happy today to have with us in the gallery George Walton Academy Lady Bulldogs from Monroe, Georgia, coming off their big win for the GIAA stand-up state championship that they won in basketball. Let's give them all a round of applause. With them, we have head coach Lori Hines, athletic director Mark Whitley, and head of school Gary Hobbs. Thank you all for being here and congratulations. We're proud of y'all.
And importantly, they have one graduating a senior this year. They're going to be back next year for another state championship. Thank you, ladies.
Congratulations. Chair Lady Houston and let's see, Representative Cannon, you're on deck. Representative Bandisha Thomas is recognized for a morning order. And friends.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Greetings, colleagues. Today is Environmental Justice Day at the Capitol, and I have my colleagues here with me who have spoke. This theme was World Water Day. So because it's World Water Day, you have something from UGA, Dr. Shaw, on your desk. We're doing free water kits and free water testing. All you have to do is put your water in the bottle and send it back in this self-postage envelope. And I just want to quickly recognize everyone who participated. All of the legislators, of course, the Director of Georgia Conservation, Georgia Wan, the Fulton County Commission of Environment, Black Voter Matters, and MTO. Thank you so much.
Representative Reese and Mathis are on deck. Representative Chair Lady Houston and Representative Chaz Cannon recognized for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On October the 10th, 2022, a huge crowd gathered at the Cook County.
Lady, yield just for a second. The member in the well deserves your attention, so we're going to have it, or we'll finish sometimes about 5 or 6 o'clock.
On October the 10th, 2022, a huge crowd gathered at the Cook County Stadium to honor the passing of Terry Arnold and to celebrate his life. Terry was a friend to all, a great Georgian and a great American, and he will be remembered for making so many people's lives better. And Representative Cannon is going to read part of a resolution. Thank you.
Resolution honoring the life and memory of Major Terry Arnold. Whereas the state of Georgia recently lost one of its finest citizens and most dedicated law enforcement officers with the untimely passing of Major Terry Arnold. And whereas Major Terry Arnold served with the Cook County Sheriff's Office for 28 years and previously served with both the Bremerton Police Department for 2 years and the Adel Police Department for 5 years. And whereas Major Terry Arnold would be most known for positively affecting the lives of hundreds of children in Cook County over the course of his law enforcement career. And whereas Major Terry Arnold was highly regarded by the citizens of his community and state and by local government officials as a person of unquestioned integrity and dedication to the sound principles of law enforcement, and now therefore be it resolved by the House of Representatives that the members of this body join in honoring the life and memory of Major Terry Arnold and express their most sincere condolences at his passing.
Thank you.
Thank you, members. That's a fine man. Representative Reese and Representative Mathis.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, today we have a huge blue storm here in the state capital from Wilkinson County, Georgia, where you have some of the best rolling hills in middle Georgia and the best hunting and fishing in the state of Georgia. Will the Wilkinson County State Championship Class A boys please stand up and be recognized today, and all the family and friends that are with us? Mr. Speaker, this is their 11th state championship since 1999. Don't tell me that the state of Georgia students are the best and the brightest in this nation, because they are. And Mr. Speaker, I want to take a personal privilege to recognize my mom that's in the gallery today, Ms. Prosser. Hello, Ms. Prosser. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I know she's proud of you. Representative Adeyina is recognized for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, colleagues. First of all, I want to stand and start off by saying we have special guests in the house. And the one special guest in the house for 20 years has been by my side is the most beautiful woman. I also would like to recognize a dear friend of mine, Dr. Florence Fasson. I have a resolution for the work she has done. Dr. Florence Fasson is the founder of the Miss Elegance Georgia pageant, an initiative to empower and inspire teen girls designed to promote poise, integrity, character, community involvement, and creative accomplishment. She has done this for the last 7 years, and she's here accompanied by one of her recipients, one of the winners, 2017 Miss Elegance Georgia winner, Olasumbo Ogunshola. Please stand and let's give them a big round of applause. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Good job, Representative. You can go home tonight, no doubt. Representatives Mogul and Hong are recognized for a morning order. And the Gwinnett
Thank you,
team.
Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, please allow me to introduce and honor Hebron Church Academy girls basketball team. They won the Class 3A state basketball championship with an undefeated record. Thank you, Coach John Azar. Go Lions. Please stand and be recognized.
Congratulations. Thanks for being with us. Representative Schofield is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, actually, we have a few more from Gwinnett County.
Oh, you have more friends in the gallery?
We do. Wanted to recognize our friend, our friend from Gwinnett County, Cole Porter. Stand up, please. We have a resolution honoring him and his contribution to Gwinnett County. He is the president of Porter Steel, but he also is very involved with the Chamber of Commerce and is the president of my Rotary Club of Duluth. So thank you, Cole Porter. Gwinnett County appreciates you.
The Gwinnett County delegation will stay put. Representative Kennard is recognized.
Yes, one of the greater assets in Gwinnett County is our very own Georgia Gwinnett College. We've always been blessed with strong presidents, visionary leaders. Today we're honoring the third president of Georgia Gwinnett College, Dr. Jan Joseph. Would you stand? Yeah. And she is taking our college to higher heights. Thank you for all that you're doing for our community. Thank you.
Thank you for being here, Dr. Joseph. We appreciate what you're doing. You're doing great work. Representative Roberts is recognized for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, colleagues. This morning we want to welcome the Georgia Youth Justice Coalition, who is in the Capitol today. I think we have a few of their members up there. And they're here to talk with us about how we can move towards a future where young Georgians have the freedom to learn and the freedom to be themselves. It's a grassroots collective of students who are working to build power for young Georgians from the classroom to the Capitol. Through training and education, they help their peers to develop the knowledge and skills to reckon with our past and ultimately shape a better future here. They understand what keeps us safe, living in communities where people of every color and background have great schools and accessible health care, where we address problems with proven solutions like mental health counseling and safe storage for firearms. Today, I hope you will join me in finding time to hear what Georgia's youth have to say and work together towards solutions for our state. Thank you. She said there's only like 3 of them.
Representative Schofield is recognized for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and colleagues. This weekend is the Georgia Single Parent 4th Annual Legacy Builders Awards Recognition Program. This initiative was started by former State Rep Valencia Stovall. Join me today as they're in the gallery welcoming Valencia Stovall, honoring the single parents, awardees, and recognizing all single parents here today. As a proud parent of Kyla Erica Griffin, I'm here to tell you single parents rock. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Reeves is recognized for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Georgia House members, to your left is Spectrum Autism Support. They are celebrating 25 years of helping people with autism in Gwinnett County. Claire Dees is Senator Bill Cowsert's sister. They are doing great, and we recognize you and wish you 25 more years. Welcome. Spectrum.
Chairman Chokas is recognized for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is my pleasure to recognize President Dr. Neil Weaver, President of Georgia Southwestern State University. Please stand. Stephen Snyder, the foundation director, should be over here. And we've got 5 bright students from Georgia Southwestern State University. We just wanted to recognize them, all these folks here, and we got an alumni right here. So go Canes. Go Canes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chairman, and welcome, Georgia Southwestern. Chair Lady Houston is recognized for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to recognize a group from Berrien County, the Berrien County Chamber Ambassadors. They're here to visit the Capitol today. Will y'all please stand? And thank you for coming to the Capitol.
Welcome, Berrien County. Glad to have y'all. Representative Joe Campbell is recognized for a morning order.
Good morning. I have with me a family that's from Crisp County, Rex Wilson and his family. Rex and I worked together about 35 years. He taught me the peanut business. He taught me about peanut seed, made a career out of it. And Rex and family, we thank y'all for coming and visiting with us. Thank y'all for coming. See you. Bye.
Representative Marion and Representative Martinez, if you'll join me with your guest. Clerk will read the caption to a resolution.
House Resolution 192 by Representative Marin of the 96th, Administration the 104th, Beverly the 143rd, Lallier the 59th, Martinez the 111th, and others. A resolution recognizing and commending the Latin American Association.
Representative Martinez is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to congratulate my good friend Santiago Marquez. Since 1972, Latin American Association. So I just want to congratulate him. Pedro Marin, take over, my friend.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and good afternoon. Buenos dias. It's still morning. So we honor today the Latin American Association, the oldest and the largest Latino-serving nonprofit in the state of Georgia. So again, it is an honor that I bring to you the CEO, Santiago Marquez of the LAA. And in fact, a tidbit was that me and Santiago in 1999, he was with Consumer Credit Counseling. I was with a housing nonprofit. We did the first Spanish first-time homebuyer workshop in the state of Georgia. Now you have them in all languages, but the first one in Spanish was in 1999, and me and my friend Santiago, we did that with a group of folks here. So again, Santiago.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you to the Hispanic Caucus. I stand before you as a Cuban immigrant, naturalized American citizen at the age of 8, and I stand before you representing 43,000 Latinos that we serve that are coming to this country for a bite of that apple, the American dream. And so on behalf of them, thank you for all you do for making Georgia the best state to live in. All the Latinos that are here are proud to be Georgians and proud to be Americans, and thank you for your work.
Very good to have you. Let's take a photo right there. We do appreciate what you're doing in the Latin American Association. What you're doing in that association, but most importantly, what you're doing for Georgia and your fellow man. Thank y'all. Appreciate your work, your service, and thanks for being with us today. Our doctor today is busy, but we're going to have Representative Rhonda Taylor introduce us to our doctor of the day. Representative Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today we have with us Dr. Walsh O'Sullivan, who is an emergency and emergency medical services physician at Emory University. She completed her undergraduate degree at Emory and worked as an EMT in Atlanta and DeKalb counties. She received her master's degree in physiology and biophysics at Georgetown and attended medical school at the University of Central Florida. She completed her emergency medicine residency at Grady Memorial Hospital. Dr. Walsh O'Sullivan lives in Conyers, Georgia, yay, with her husband Jim, and they own a very small horse farm. Let us welcome our doctor of the day, Dr. Walsh O'Sullivan. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Is that a small horse farm or a small horse farm? Just checking. See, I'm glad y'all are listening. Al caught that right off, and so did, Representative Williams and Chairman Parsons. Okay, we're moving on to the rules calendar, so we'll ask you to give your attention to the member in the well. Mr. Clerk, would you read the caption to Senate Bill 148, 148?
Senate Bill 148 to be titled by Senator Kennedy of the 18th and others to be titled an act to amend Chapter 3, Title 14 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to nonprofit corporations so as to comprehensively revise, simplify, and modernize said chapter and to provide for the construction of said chapter. This bill having referred to the Committee on Judiciary. That committee recommends that this bill do pass.
It's that time. Need to give your attention to the member in the well. Representative Leverett is recognized to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, I'm presenting to you today Senate Bill 148. This is a comprehensive revision, rewrite, update, correction of the Georgia Nonprofit Corporation Code. This always reminds me of one of the times I was, traveling in Dillard, and I saw one of those cedar shingles behind the cash register that said, "This is a nonprofit business. We didn't intend it. It just turned out that way." Or also talking with Chairman Dickey about one of his competitors who lamented that it was costing him 95 cents a pound to grow peaches, and he's only selling them for 90 cents a pound. But he said he's going to make it up on volume.
That's not exactly what we're dealing with here today, but it's sort of like that. This is there are two kinds of corporations you can form in Georgia: a business corporation, which is generally conducted for profit, and a nonprofit corporation, which is generally conducted with an idea of not making money and distributing it to shareholders, perhaps making money, but applying it to some other kind of charitable or social purpose. So, for example, the term nonprofit that we use here is not talking about nonprofit in the sense of taxation. It's talking about nonprofit in the sense of the internal structure of the corporation. Generally, if you're forming a foundation, or if a lot of churches use this form, hospitals do, clubs for like golf or hunting, or track clubs and that sort of thing, use this kind of internal organization, which does not have shareholders. It may have members. Doesn't have to have them, but it may. So it's a different kind of internal governance of the corporation that's more suited to the nonprofit context. So it's a total separate chapter in the Georgia Corporation Code. There's a code for business corporations and a code for nonprofit corporations. We've amended the one for business corporations numerous times. We haven't really touched the nonprofit code for many, many years. So several years ago, the nonprofit law section of the state bar, the legislative committee undertook a project to review the code and basically rewrite the whole thing, but with the sense of updating it, making corrections, clarifying provisions, addressing court decisions that had been issued interpreting the code and trying to conform the code to those provisions, and just making grammatical changes, and then updating the code with respect to changes in technology over the last 30 years, ways of communicating notice. So we tried to update the code with respect to that. So it's 183 beautiful pages, and it basically does those things I have said. There are a few substantive changes, most of which you need to take your heart medication before I talk about them. There are things like changing quorum requirements, prohibiting a president from also being the secretary, because usually the secretary has to attest the signature of the president, making executive directors. A lot of nonprofits have an executive director. They're actually making that an officer so that it's subject to the duties and conflict of interest rules of officers, and applying the duties of care to them. I think I did mention quorum and the minimum number of directors. So very technical changes, but ones that are very essential to allow these entities to function properly and hopefully not have to talk to their lawyers so much and spend money on legal fees, but apply the funds they have to the purpose for which they exist. So that's the bill. Basically, I'd be glad to stand if you have any questions.
Gentleman Yield, you have several questions. Gentleman Yield?
Yes.
Chairman Knight, to your right, is recognized for a question.
To my friend and well, would you yield for a couple of questions?
I yield.
And first of all, to my friend, I'm sorry, it's obviously a long bill and trying to read everything that comes through.
Yes.
I apologize for the lateness of the question. But I have a general question, and in regards to rewriting this part of the code for charitable organizations, isn't it true that we found that a lot of charitable organizations are set up and then they're leasing to or leasing from private entities or corporations that surround it with a profit motive? And that's what I'm seeing, and I'm asking the gentleman, is this identified in here, or does this legislation or measure address any of that?
I'm not aware that it addresses leases or contracts entered into between nonprofit and profit corporations.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Gentleman yield further.
Yes.
Representative Jasmine Clark is recognized for a question to your left.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentleman yield?
I yield, yes, ma'am.
So you briefly, this is a pretty long bill, and so you went through it very, very fast. You mentioned something about executive directors now being considered officers. So a lot of nonprofits, their executive directors are often a paid position, whereas sometimes their board of directors is not a paid position. Is anything in this bill going to require a lot of these nonprofit organizations to completely restructure their organization now that the executive director is in the same tier, I guess, as their board?
I guess that's going to depend on the particular circumstances for each nonprofit, but I'm not aware that it's going to require any changes to their overall structure. It simply makes it clear that the executive director has certain duties to the board and to the corporation, just like any other officer would, because they're basically fulfilling the duties of an officer.
Does the gentleman further yield?
Yes, ma'am.
So I guess what I'm asking is, a lot of places in their bylaws, the board is unpaid, but their executive director is not considered a part of the board. So if that is their structure, I'm asking for the nonprofits that might be watching us today, if that is their current structure, will they need to redo their bylaws to now change it to where certain board members can be paid so that they can pay their executive director?
I would say, and I don't do a great deal of work in this area, I do some. I serve on a nonprofit board and I do represent some. I don't believe anything in the bill would require them to change compensation or the general structure of the corporation if they have an unpaid board or unpaid director.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question.
Representative Kennard is recognized to your left for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Do you yield?
Yes.
How would this bill affect churches or religious entities that are also 501c3s?
Well, if they're a 501c3 corporation, then it would affect them in the sense that it does impose these new rules I've discussed. However, most of the provisions about quorum and those sorts of things can be changed by specific bylaw provisions or amendments to their articles of incorporation. So to the extent there's anything in here that they would not like, there are sort of escape hatches, if you would, for them to affirmatively provide a different rule for their operation.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Gentleman has no further questions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, I would appreciate your favorable support of Senate Bill 148. Thank you very much.
Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And the clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of the bill, the yeas were 163, the nays 4. The bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to Senate Bill 218-218?
Senate Bill 218 by Senator Redd of the 33rd and others to be entitled an Act to amend Article 5 of Chapter 5 of Title 40 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to identification cards for persons without driver's license, so as to provide for the issuance of identification cards to persons in completing a term of incarceration. This bill has been referred to the Committee on Public Safety and Homeland Security. That committee recommends that this bill do pass by committee substitute.
Chairman Werkheiser is recognized to present the bill.
Thank you, Speaker Burns. I think this is a bill we can all get behind. This is a collaborative effort between the Department of Corrections, the Department of Pardon and Paroles, and the Department of Driver Services. When our state inmates have fulfilled their obligation to the state and leave the prison system, we should do everything we can to help them gain employment and other services. And one of the ways we can do this is to provide them a comprehensive packet of all the courses they've completed, like if they've completed a welding course or any educational where they've gotten a GED, and then also to give them a state-issued ID card, and that's what the bill does. Stand for any questions if there are any.
You have a question. Representative Hughley to your left has a question. Representative Hughley.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentleman yield?
Absolutely.
I appreciate the bill. I do have a question, though. Did you all discuss other things that you might be giving to persons who've completed their time? Are we still at $25 and a bus ticket home, or what else do they receive as they are leaving and are reintegrating back into society?
That's a great question. It was not discussed in this bill. Basically, this was paperwork related to their leaving and not the other services. Now, I did fail to mention that this was Senator Doc Rett's bill over in the Senate who worked on this, but we did not discuss the other issues. A great question.
Gentleman, yield for another question?
Yes, sir.
Representative Roman is up the center aisle, is recognized for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentleman yield?
Yes, ma'am.
For the ID card, is this just the typical ID card that some people can also use to travel and everything else, or is it different?
That's a great question, because we did not want to give the stigma or identification that this was a previous inmate. So the card is the same card as that you and I would get from the Department of Driver Services if we wanted a card but did not want the privileges of driving. So it's just the same as everybody else. Great question.
The gentleman has no further questions.
Thank you. I'd ask for your favorable consideration on
Well,
Senate
you do
Bill
have one more.
218.
If
Absolutely.
the gentleman would yield, I'm sorry.
Yes. I'm
Representative Lisa Campbell has a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Do you yield the will?
Yes, ma'am.
I just have a question about line 51. It says educational programming shall not apply to inmates who have attained 50 years of age. Just curious about that as an age cutoff.
I'm going to have to plead ignorance on that. I do not know.
You have no further questions.
I'd ask for your favorable consideration on Senate Bill 218.
Gentlemen did an outstanding job presenting the bill, and we appreciate that. We appreciate the bill. We have a speaker in favor. Representative Kennard is recognized to speak in favor of the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I could just about fall on the floor and cry. This is such a great bill and such a great solution. In the program of which I'm the director, we work with homelessness, and we get a lot of folks who are reentering from our state prisons and county jails. And this is a significant problem. Someone who's being released, they have no ID. So we're spending months collecting their birth certificate, their social, and it usually takes months before we get to the place of a state ID. And I've been asking for this for years, so I appreciate this effort. It always made sense to me that they could leave incarceration with a state ID. There was some pushback saying, well, we don't know if this is really that person, and I would always quip back, well, we knew it was that person enough to convict them. But anyway, I'm so glad that we came to this place today. It's a great bill. Please vote in support of SB 218.
Gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee substitute? The chair hears none. The committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of the bill, the yeas were 171, the nays 0. The bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to Senate Bill 4747?
Senate Bill 47 by Senator Huffstetler, the 52nd, and others, to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 12 of Title 16 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated, relating to offenses against public health and morals, so as to provide that vaping in restricted areas is a misdemeanor punishable by a fine. This bill having been referred to the Committee on Public Health. That committee recommends that this bill do pass.
Chair Lady Cooper is recognized to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you Senate Bill 47, and what this bill does, it puts vaping on the same status as smoking cigarettes. It does not expand anything. It just says, if you can't smoke in an area, you can't vape in an area. And that is what the bill does. And Mr. Speaker, if there are no questions, I'll yield the well.
You have no questions. The lady has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machine. $131. Okay. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of the bill, the yeas are 152, the nays 14. The bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to Senate Bill 131?
Senate Bill 131 by Senator Tillery, the 19th, and others, to be entitled an act to amend Part 13 of Article 3 of Chapter 11 and Title 15 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated, relating to permanent guardianship, so as to provide for service by publication. This bill having been referred to the Committee on Juvenile Justice. That committee recommends that this bill do pass by committee substitute.
Chair Lady Ballinger is recognized to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today I come before you to present SB 131. SB 131 has to do with permanent guardianships and service of process onto different parties to the permanent guardianship. Section 1 requires a guardianship petition hearing to be conducted in accordance with OCGA 29218. Section 2 adds requirements to the process of serving individuals related to the child who was not adjudicated as a dependent child or any other parties who appear to the court as proper or necessary to the proceeding. Now, Section 3 and Section 4 are really, to us as House members, the pertinent parts. That was a little added decoration that we put on over here in the House to address a very serious issue. Many of y'all know the issue to which I'm referring, a young lady that was subjected to just horrific circumstances, and it included her surviving parent who had actually murdered the other parent and all her other siblings. That the remaining parent that had murdered all of her family actually tried to get her sent back to Mexico to live with the murderer's family. In this case, it was the mother. So to that end, we want to make sure that that doesn't happen again. So we added Section 3, which makes a conviction of a parent for murder or voluntary manslaughter of the other parent a mandatory basis. It's a shall. The judge shall sever all parental ties between that parent and the child for removing the child from a parent who was convicted. Section 4 allows the court to exercise its discretion when determining the custody of a child. And if one parent has been indicted for the offense of murder or voluntary manslaughter of the other parent. So in other words, they can hold, it's completely within the judge's discretion, but they can hold off on the permanent, making that a permanent situation, or they can kind of hold it in abeyance, waiting until the parent is convicted, whatever the judge would like to do in that instance. So that's the bill, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
You have no questions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I urge everybody's favorable consideration to SB 131.
The lady has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee substitute? The chair hears none. The committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And the clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of the bill, the yeas were 165, the nays 5. The bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to Senate Bill 213-213?
Senate Bill 213 by Senator Burns, the 23rd, and others to be entitled, an act to amend Chapter 66 and Title 36 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to zoning procedures so as to prohibit local governments from preventing the continuance of a lawful, non-conforming use of property when a pre-existing manufactured home or mobile home is replaced with another such home. This bill having referred to the Committee on Governmental Affairs, that committee recommends that this bill do pass.
Representative Washburn is recognized to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, I rise to present Senate Bill 213, whose sponsor is Senator Max Burns. This is a simple bill. It should be non-controversial. It allows existing owners of manufactured housing, a manufactured home, to replace that home with a new home that is manufactured housing. There are three conditions that should be understood. First of all, the replacement home must be a new home, and it must only be used as a single family residence, and the owner has a year from the removal of the previous structure to replace it with the new structure. That is the bill, and Mr. Speaker, I will yield for any questions.
You have a question? You yield for a question?
Yes, sir.
Representative Roberts, right out to your left in front of you, is recognized for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will the gentleman yield?
Yes, ma'am.
Isn't it true that this bill is going to be a way to maintain affordable housing? Often jurisdictions will rezone an area with the express purpose of kind of driving certain uses out. And these are folks that have lived in their homes and should be able to replace their homes, and it's a way that we maintain a surplus of, or at least some affordable housing.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for that question. It is a great solution to our continuing challenge for affordable housing, and thank you for that question.
Gentleman yield?
Yes, sir, I will for one more.
Representative Wilkerson, to your left in the back, is recognized for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentleman yield?
Yes, sir.
And I apologize for not asking this earlier, but If there are code improvements or safety improvements that happen over time, like I know if you replace a water heater or whatever, you have to update to the new code. Does this impact any requirements that are required of new homes but not old ones?
No, sir, not to my knowledge. It just does specify that it has to be a new home, which certainly should meet all the requirements, I would assume. Mr. Speaker and members of the House, I urge your favorable consideration of this bill. And Mr. Speaker, I yield the well.
Gentlemen, will you take one question from Chairman Martin? I'm sorry, it popped up about the time you said that. If you will reconsider your...
Certainly, I will take a question from the chairman.
Chairman Yield.
Yes, sir.
Isn't it true that your bill states, or the senator's bill states, new mobile home?
That
new
is correct.
manufactured home. And isn't it true that it wouldn't be legal for someone to manufacture those homes if they weren't up to current safety standards?
Yes, sir. I believe that is
Isn't
true.
it true? I believe that would address the gentleman's previous question.
I think so. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
No further questions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
Thank you for your flexibility. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And the clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? All members voted. If so, the clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of the bill, the yeas were 169, the nays 2. The bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Members, we're going to call a bill that we postponed from yesterday. We're going to call SB 135. It was on the calendar yesterday and was postponed until today. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to Senate Bill 135?
Senate Bill 135 by Senator Kirkpatrick of the 32nd and others to be titled an act to amend Article 3 of Chapter 7 to Title 19 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to determination of paternity so as to align evidentiary medical and genetic testing with the Uniform Parentage Act of 2017. This bill having referred to the Committee on Juvenile Justice, that committee recommends that this bill do pass.
Chair Lady Ballinger is recognized to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, I come before you to present Senate Bill 135. Senate Bill 135 clarifies the genetic testing. When genetic testing is required by a court order, the testing must be of a type reasonably relied upon by the experts in the field and conducted by a laboratory accredited by either the AABB, formerly known as the American Association of Blood Banks, or an accrediting body designated by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Results of genetic testing, including statistical likelihood of the alleged parent's parentage, are admitted into evidence without foundational testimony or other proof of accuracy unless a party objects in writing at least 30 days prior to a hearing at which the results may be introduced as evidence. The bill makes results of required genetic testing self-authenticating and admissible in any civil action as long as documentation from the laboratory contains the following chain of custody information: the name and photograph of each individual whom was tested, the name of the individual who collected the test result, the place and date each result was collected, the name of the person who received the result in the laboratory, and the date the result was received. So there is it's hopeful that by making these DNA tests during the course of a legitimation, sometimes that scientific proof of of paternity is needed to move forward with legitimation. So hopefully this will ameliorate that situation and make it move much faster for those, so that those children can get into permanent situations a lot quicker without holding up the process, waiting on a genetic test. I'll be happy to stand for any questions.
Lady, yield for a question.
Yes, sir.
Representative Jasmine Clark to your left has a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentlelady yield?
I do.
So can you clarify on lines 48 and 49? You said that these genetic tests, so I'm going to say paternity tests, can be admitted without the need for proof of authenticity unless someone objects. So it doesn't need to have proof of authenticity unless there's an objection to it?
It's the results of the genetic testing can be admitted into court if it contains lines 60 through 64. If it has all of those procedures included, it's much like a medical narrative can be included and not have the actual doctor there to testify. So sometimes having the actual geneticist, who may be out of state, come and testify to authenticate that kind of snags up the system. So this just allows it to be self-authenticating unless the other party objects.
Okay. Thank you.
I'll be happy to yield to any more questions.
No further questions.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I encourage everybody to vote favorably for Senate Bill 135. Thank you very much.
Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of the bill, the yeas were 171, the nays 0. The bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. We're going to move on to afternoon orders in the morning. Representative Kennard, you're recognized for an afternoon order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wanted to underscore a couple of things I said yesterday in the well to be more clear because they are powerful. We know that if a kid is reading on level by 3rd grade, we've all but removed them from the possibility of corrections. We also know that studies show that 4-year-olds going through our state pre-K are largely hitting that 3rd grade proficiency marker. We know that 4-year degree holders are virtually non-existent in our prison population. It's clear our best public safety policy would be better education policy, and it's much cheaper. It costs $5,400 to put a 4-year-old through our pre-K. The average tuition cost for a 4-year degree in Georgia is $20,000. Juxtapose that to the cost to incarcerate an individual, which is $27,000 per year, and the average time served is 5 years. That's $135,000 to incarcerate. We know that we are sitting on $1.9 billion of lottery reserves, $1.1 billion of which we have access to now. We could deploy a fraction of that and put every Georgia 4-year-old through pre-K and open up Hope scholarships to thousands and thousands more for a 4-year degree. This is good public safety policy. Doubling down on tough on crime measures doesn't work, and it's really expensive. Right now we have more jails and prisons than we have colleges and universities in the state. When we fail to properly educate, we incarcerate. Victor Hugo said, "He who opens a school door closes a prison." Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Hutchinson is recognized for an afternoon order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, today I want to introduce you to a sibling group. We have Ty Marie, who's 11, Tamaya, who's 10, Raman, who's 8, and Josiah, who is 7. This is a sibling group who are affectionate, love school, love to ride the bus to school, and are friendly. They love to watch TV, they get along with each other, and they like to cuddle with stuffed animals and blankets. This sibling group is very difficult to place. It's a sibling group of 4, and they are African American children who are the most difficult to place. I don't think many people know that there is adoption assistance for families who decide to adopt a sibling group like this, or a special needs child or sibling group. I hope when we consider children for adoption that we think about what supports our state gives, such as Medicaid and financial assistance, when you are taking on such a huge responsibility. So let's talk to our constituents to get these babies adopted. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
Representative Buckner is recognized for an afternoon order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, I really had planned to do this yesterday and kind of got bumped, but I just wanted to thank everyone for your well wishes, thoughts, and prayers when I was out last week sick. And as a retired public health educator, I feel like it's important to say I had nothing contagious, so you don't have to worry. I also think that as a retired health educator, these next few days of stress, I would encourage us all to get as much stress relieved that we can by resting and drinking plenty of water. And hopefully we'll get through to the end of Sine Die without any more illnesses. But thank you. You are truly a wonderful family and taking care of one of its own when I wasn't feeling so great. So thank you.
Chairman Wiedauer is recognized for an afternoon order.
Good afternoon, colleagues. I rise today to let you know that tomorrow we get to celebrate another national championship for the University of Georgia football team.
Amen.
Trophy will be on display in the rotunda from 9 a.m. to noon tomorrow. Please come on down. Two trophies hopefully tomorrow. But just want to obviously give our great respect and great season, and go Dogs.
I heard that. Representative Carter, where is she? Representative Doreen Carter has an important afternoon order here. Listen up.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, everyone. So usually I get up the day before we break before my birthday to tell you guys it's my birthday. So I didn't do it this year. But today is my youngest son's 22nd birthday. So I just want you all to join me in wishing Joshua Isaiah Micah Carter a fabulous birthday. He's been here 22 years. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Sharper is recognized for an afternoon order.
Okay, thank you, Speaker.
Chairman Cooper came up earlier to talk about the Georgia Health Policy Center. So if you're a graduate of that program, you're going to take photos at the South Steps immediately after session. But if y'all don't mind, if y'all can stand real quick, the Georgia Health Policy, y'all give them a big hand. They do a lot of education for us, for our health committees, public health committees, and anybody that would like to take the courses. They do a great job. Thank y'all so much.
That completes our afternoon orders. We'll move on to announcements. We have a motion that I've got to find here. For what purpose does Chairman Lumsden rise?
To make a motion.
State your motion.
Mr. Speaker, I move that Senate Bill 110 be moved from insurance and be reassigned to motor vehicles. Both chairmen are in agreement.
Clerk will read the caption.
Senate Bill 110 by Senator Walker of the 20th and others being entitled an act to amend Chapter 1 and Title 33 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to general provisions for insurance so as to establish the Back the Blue Fund that distributes voluntary contributions.
On the gentleman's motion that SB 110 be withdrawn from the Insurance Committee and recommitted to the Motor Vehicles Committee, is there objection? Hearing none, it is so ordered. For what purpose does Chairman Chokus rise?
To make a motion.
State your motion.
To move that we temporarily suspend the rules so that a bill can be read and assigned to committee for the first time.
Does the clerk have your bill?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption?
Unnumbered House Bill by Representative Chokus, the 151st to be entitled an act to create the Terrell County Land Bank Authority.
On the gentleman's motion that the rules of the House be temporarily suspended so a bill can be read for the first time and assigned to committee, is there objection? Intergovernmental coordination. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to a group of privileged resolutions?
Honoring the life and memory of Cedric Juan Martin. Recognizing and commending Dorothy Norwood. Congratulating Heard County Lady Braves softball team celebrating the 40th anniversary of the magistrate court system. Congratulating and commending the 2023 Georgia Parent Legal Builders Award finalists. Congratulating and commending the 2023 Georgia Single Parent Legacy Builders Award finalists. Recognizing March 26, 2023 as the Georgia Cup Day and celebrating the Georgia Cup's 26th anniversary. Commending and congratulating Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine, South Georgia. Congratulating the Heard County Middle School's boys basketball team for winning the West Georgia Middle School AA Championship. Congratulating and commending Morgan Oil Company. Congratulating the Carroll High School debate team for winning the 2023 GFCA State Debate Championship. Recognizing and commending Ty Murray on winning the 2023 State Wrestling Championship. Recognizing and commending Gabe Swan on winning the 2023 State Wrestling Championship. Commending the Central High School wrestling team for winning the 2023 State Wrestling Championship. Recognizing and commending Jacob Levy on winning the 2023 State Wrestling Championship, commending Shaquita Foster, South Atlanta High School's 2023 Teacher of the Year, recognizing March 22nd, 2023 as Black Men and Boys Day at the state capitol, commending and congratulating Pierce Samuel Graber, recognizing and honoring the victims of communism, celebrating the inauguration of the Atlanta branch of the American Korea United Society on March 26, 2023, recognizing and commending Takasha M. Swan and the Veteran Anthem, recognizing March 20th, 2023 as Transit Day at the state capitol, recognizing March 23rd, 2023 as Go Vote Georgia Day at the state capitol, celebrating and commending Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated Kappa Omega Chapter for 100 years of service to all mankind, congratulating Grayson Nudd, Georgia's 2023 Distinguished Young Woman, recognizing May 4, 2023 as the Judicial Council Administrative Office's the court's 50th anniversary day, recognizing and commending Sammy Baker, and congratulating the Piedmont Academy's girls basketball team, and honoring the life and memory of Terry Harth. And for other purposes, that completes the reading of the privilege resolutions.
Is there any objection to adopting the privilege resolutions? The chair is none, and the resolutions are adopted. We'll be moving on to announcements, but first let me inform you that we have 4 bills that were on our calendar today that will be postponed until the next legislative day. SB 1, SB 20, SB 155, and SB 64 postponed to the next legislative day. Representative Alexandra is recognized for an announcement. Listen up.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, women, for wearing your robes in honor of...
If the gentlelady will suspend just for a minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, women...
Hold on just for a minute. They can't hear you. These announcements will affect your life this afternoon and the next couple of days, so I think you need to pay attention. Lady will continue.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, women, for wearing your robes today in honor of Representative Tish McGeese. Also, we will have our last and very final lunch for the Women Caucus today. It is in room 216, so I hope I see you guys there. Thank you.
Chairman Irwin is recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Education full committee after lunch today, 1 o'clock. Our suspended meeting will meet in 341 here at the Capitol, 1 o'clock. Thank you.
Chairman Dickey is recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Tomorrow from 4 to 6 in the Blue Room, UGA, College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences, will have a reception with the Dean and Advisory Council. I hope everyone can go and to that reception tomorrow, 4 to 6.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Representative Angela Moore is recognized for an announcement.
Hello, House members. Attention, especially if you all are playing. This is a reminder that tonight is our House versus Senate kickball team, and I am your official cheerleader. I will be out on the field with my pom-poms cheering you on against the Senate. Everyone who is going to be there who's involved needs to be at the stadium right down the street by 5 p.m. today. The game starts at 5:30. Parking in the victory lot for us. And I will be screaming these words all afternoon. UGLY, you ain't got no alibi, you ugly, and you all holler it with me. So let's be there. I gotta pump myself up for that. I gotta put my t-shirt on and pom-pom. So let's get out there and kick some Senate butt, y'all.
I can't add to that. Perfect. 5 p.m., no competition from the Senate. Chairman Williamson, you're recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I was sitting there praying to God you wouldn't call me to the well right after that ugly. But I just want to remind all the members of the Republican caucus that we do have lunch beginning upon adjournment in room 403 upstairs. Your attendance is heavily encouraged. Please be at the caucus lunch upstairs in room 403 at adjournment. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
That certainly wasn't directed at you, Mr. Chairman. You can't speak to another member, and member Moore knows that. So she wasn't addressing. She was addressing across the hall on the other side of the building. Chairman Parsons is recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Speaker. I just wanted to announce that Energy, Utilities, and Telecommunications will not be meeting today. That's our normally scheduled time on Tuesdays at 3. We've probably had our last meeting for this session. There is no meeting today. Thank you.
Chairman Blackman recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Ways and Means Committee will not meet today. We will not meet. Thank you.
Chairman Bonner is recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Defense and Veteran Affairs today at 2 p.m. in 515 CLOB. Thank you.
Chair Lady Ballinger is recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your Juvenile Justice Committee will not meet today. So the meeting this afternoon at 3 is canceled. Thank you very much.
Are there any other announcements? No other announcements. Okay, members. We're ready to wrap up here. Let me have your attention. I want to remind you of something. As you've heard, we have a full slate of committee meetings this afternoon. We're obliged to be here and work today and tomorrow and Thursday. So we will be having committee meetings tomorrow. So you need to pay attention to your schedule. Make sure you're attending the meetings that you on the committees that you've been assigned to and on subjects that you're interested in. I want to hear it Thursday. I didn't know anything about this. Or Monday. Never heard of this before. We all have an obligation to be informed. So you can take care of that obligation by attending these committee meetings and make sure you're informed and you're representing your constituents. Enough said, right? We're good to go. Thank you all for your attention today. We don't have any birthdays. We're going to kick the Senate's butt, as we usually do, this afternoon. Additionally, at the kickball game, I'm coaching, so if you want to get in, you best come see me and let me know of your skill level. Oh, there we go. You trying to get in there, Chairman Cooper? Are you trying to get on the field this afternoon? Oh, Chair Lady Cooper has an announcement.
Hello, everybody. The Public Health Committee will meet at 1:15 and 606 LOB. Public Health will meet 1:15 and LOB 606. Shouldn't take us too long. We got a couple of things. Thank you.
We have Pages who've done a great job today, and they're up here to have a photo with their member. So I encourage, if you have a page, to join us up front. If I can have your attention just for a moment. If you'll all stand with me, Chairman Hatchett just informed me that the lead of our budget office, Christine Murdoch, is headed over to Alabama. Her dad is in serious condition, and so if you would join me in a moment of silence and prayer for her dad, Christine, and that entire family. If you will, join me. Amen. Thank you. The majority leader of this House is recognized for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that this House stand adjourned until 4 p.m. today. Stand in recess until 4 p.m. today, and then be adjourned until Thursday, March 23rd, 2023 at 10 a.m.
On the motion of the majority leader, this House will stand in recess until 4 p.m. today, and at which time we will adjourn until Thursday, March the 23rd, 2023 at 10 a.m. All those in favor of the majority leader's motion will say aye. All those in favor of the majority leader's motion will say aye. All those opposed will say no. The ayes are the only ones that count. We are in recess.